There are 9 million e-cigarette users within the United States, which is remarkable considering they weren't first introduced until around 2006. According to a recent report from Public Health England, e-cigarettes are thought to be around 95% less harmful than smoking combusted tobacco, as well as playing an important role in helping smokers to quit. There are actually studies that show that e-cigarette use is likely to lead to quit attempts that would not otherwise have happened, and in a proportion of these to successful cessation overall. Of the 50 patients included in Neal and colleagues' study, none of the patients who stated that they smoked e-cigarettes stated that they had initiated smoking after starting to vape. Some researchers have sought to identify a possible mechanism through which a gateway effect might be occurring by pointing to the possible role of nicotine. The extent to which nicotine is even being consumed by young people using e-cigarettes is by no means universally accepted. Meach and colleagues' study showed that the consumption of non-nicotine containing flavored e-liquids was actually more common than the use of nicotine-containing e-liquids, and many of the young people in their qualitative research were more interested in the theatricality of being able to create large plumes of exhaled vapor than in meeting their needs to consume nicotine. Bell and Keene point out that although there are studies that support an increase in nicotine consumption in e-cigarette users, these theories are not supported with a coherent study, and that an alternative explanation of these findings may be that both vaping and smoking have similar qualities, such that it is not vaping that is leading to smoking, but another variable. For example, a willingness to experiment with different forms of drugs, or an attitude of rebelliousness that is driving both vaping and smoking. Researchers are looking at the similarities between vaping and smoking to make the comparison of renormalization of smoking. However, most new generational e-cigarettes have clearly defined characteristics that separate them from those of a cigar. Indeed, in the study undertaken by McCarney and colleagues, there was some evidence that amongst the non-smokers interviewed, attitudes towards smoking had become even more negative as a result of what was seen to be the availability now of a less harmful means of consuming nicotine. Neal and colleagues concluded that vaping had, if anything, made smoking less, not more acceptable, and that amongst those who felt that a vaping ban would be unfair, the basis for their view largely had to do with the belief that passive vaping posed little or no threat to the health of others.